Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Backyard Beach Reviews. Obviously, this is not a beach review. Just for some context, I posted a video on Saturday of the 5 biggest winners and losers from the Internet Invitational, and it seemed to do really well. It was definitely my most popular video so far, so I figured why not sprinkle in some additional YouTube golf content. It's one of my favorite things on the internet to watch, and it's absolutely blowing up right now. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna list out my top 10 most likable YouTube golfers. Now this is completely opinion based, and I expect a lot of you, maybe even most of you, to disagree with a lot of my picks here. So feel free to rash me in the comments. I got a lot of positive feedback on my last video, but definitely some negative too, and it just led to some really good conversations, some arguments, but also some of me changing my opinion about what I had put out there. So happy to have those conversations. Just make sure to like and subscribe. All right, so starting with number 10, we have Bryan. I've never really been a huge fan of the Bryan brothers. They're a little bit too good for me for YouTube golf. Now, I'm still a fan of the PGA Tour. I know it's a bit antiquated at this point. When I'm watching really good golf, I want to see the absolute best of the best, and that's why I continue to watch the PGA Tour. When I watch YouTube golf, I want to see a bit more of the character side of things. I want to see the entertainment aspect, I want to see the comedy aspect, and they're a little bit on the vanilla side and just a little bit too good for me, but after watching the Internet Invitational, I really like George. I thought he was entertaining, and I think he has probably one of the best swings on YouTube golf, period. I thought he was a great partner to Chaz. I think that chip in on the, I believe, 17th hole on day one in the afternoon was absolutely clutch. One of the cooler moments from day one. And I just couldn't leave him off the list. He seems like a super genuine dude, seems super likable. A few of my friends are really big fans of him, said that they would have had him in their top 5 for a list like this. So I couldn't leave him off. There are so many names that I wish I could add to this, but I'm doing a top 10. Could probably do a top 15 for most likable. All things considered, Bryan's my number 10. Okay, number 9 is Trent Ryan. Not a very good golfer, but he's someone that you root for, and it's super easy to root for him. I love the whole breaking 90 series, breaking 85. He hasn't got there yet. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. Him at the Creator Classic at Sawgrass on the 16th hole. I think he took 5 or 6 shots to get to the green, and it was a fan favorite moment. I think everyone was really rooting for him to hit it. The story behind that is actually pretty crazy. There was a ball that he never wanted to use ever. It was the last ball in his bag. He used it and he hit the green. I encourage you to check that story out. It's a pretty cool one, but really just a cool moment. I have it here as an overlay on the video, but if you haven't seen the whole thing, I suggest taking a look. So yeah, just a guy that you root for. Nice guy. All right, number 8 is Shiels, the godfather of YouTube golf. He was one of the first to do it. He is a big reason why it's at the scale that it is today. If you're interested in more of the instructional type videos, Shiels is a good guy to watch for game improvement. He's also a super entertaining and super nice guy. I think one of my favorite Bob Does Sports videos was the Guinness Challenge when they went to Europe and they, oh man, they had to drink probably like 30 Guinnesses and break a certain number in a scramble. They got absolutely loaded. They got in a little bit of trouble for it, but it was a really great watch. It was cool to see Shiels let loose a little bit. He's more of a responsible, instructional type YouTube golfer, but it was cool to see him kind of open up. And I really liked him in his limited screen time in the Internet Invitational. I thought him and Santino were an awesome group, super entertaining. I really wish I could have seen more, but yeah, Shiels is number 8 for me. Number 7 is Garrett. He's always come off as a super likable guy to me. I know he gets a little bit of backlash. There has been times where he comes off a little bit bitchy about shots, but I think he actually knows that too. I watched the first, or the reemergence of the Good podcast, and he specifically said that. He does look at comments, and there was one video in particular where people were saying he was just bitchy, and he totally agreed with it, and he's kind of curbed that a little bit from my perspective. I think he's a really nice guy. I think he's entertaining, super entertaining. I think the way that he got to the place that he is now is super cool with the trick shots. I don't know how he does any of that stuff. If you haven't seen his original YouTube content on GM Golf, it's really, he does crazy stuff. But I look at him as kind of the leader of Good. I know he's not necessarily the leader in terms of a business sense. I think he kind of comes off that way, and I think his videos are super creative too, and I love watching them. So Garrett, number 7. Number 6, I've got Grant Horvat, the golden child of YouTube golf. Just an overall nice guy. Never says anything wrong, always respectful, and he has absolutely blown up. I think he's got the biggest solo YouTube golf channel. I don't count Bryson as a YouTube golfer. He's like the 4th best ranked player on the planet right now. I don't know if I can qualify him as a YouTube golfer. I'm gonna have some videos about that at a later date. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that though. But if we're not counting him, I think Grant is the #1 biggest solo YouTube golfer outside of, you know, the Good Goods and the Bob Does Sports. But he might even be bigger than them at this point. He's doing a really cool series right now where he's facing pros and starting with the 5-stroke lead. The Bryson one just dropped yesterday, so I'm going to take a look at that probably tonight and do a recap video of it. I think it's crazy that he can compete with these guys with just a 5-stroke advantage. I think he could definitely grind to play on tour, and I think he knows that too, but I don't think it's something he wants to do. Either way, though, I love his content with Phil. I thought it was a really cool dynamic between him and Phil kind of talking through their shots and executing. But overall, I think he's super likable. He doesn't have that, you know, chirpy aspect to him, which I like to see, and you'll see a few more guys on the list as we get a little bit higher that have that, but it's hard to deny the fact that he's super likable. So, Grant Horvat, #6. #5, I've got Chaz. Now, the Internet Invitational, I think, was Chazzy's coming out party. I think a lot of people that haven't watched him in the past got to see what he's all about, and he did not disappoint. He took that platform and he ran with it. He played some of the best golf, I think, out of anyone in the 48-person group. The guy didn't miss a fairway. It was becoming an ongoing joke throughout the whole tournament. He really couldn't miss. And then he was coming up clutch every opportunity he had to be clutch. There were a lot of people saying that he's only hitting all the fairways because he's so small and his swing plane is hard to kind of knock off and there's little room for error. I disagree with that. I don't think you could take someone's natural disadvantage and turn it into an advantage. I think that's a little unfair to Chaz. The guy is 4 feet tall and pipes it 250. I think he's gained a lot of subs, a lot of followers from the Internet Invitational, and all of them super well deserved. Just a really great golfer and seemingly a greater guy. So, Chazzy #5. All right, #4. Got Joey Colcuts, Joey D, Joey DeMont. Absolute riot. Kid is an absolute riot. He's not the greatest golfer in the world, right? There are so many on YouTube that are better than him, but he's not terrible, and his antics are just absolutely hysterical. His blow-ups I find to be just so funny. A lot of times I get annoyed with the blow-ups and the club throws and all that, especially on the course, but this kid, he makes it so funny. Love when the Canadian comes out of him a little bit. He pronounces some words just completely incorrectly, and the guys just rag on him for it. I think that's absolutely hysterical. I think it's funny when they make him take his teeth out. I mean, the video of him jumping over the laser under the garage door is probably the funniest video on the internet. I'll put it in the video here. If you haven't seen it, you're gonna die laughing here.
Watch your head.
It's gonna hit his head.
Watch your head.
It's gonna hit his head.
Watch your head.
I think the early Bob Does video where Bob tells him that they're going to Pinehurst and falls asleep in the car on the ride there, and he ends up at an absolute dog track muni course is hysterical. His reaction is too good.
Ratty.
What?
Welcome to the world famous Links at Victoria.
What? Where the hell are we?
I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
What? No, but what is
Joseph,
what is going on here, Bob? Where are we?
please don't freak out. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but what?
We're playing the Links at Victoria today. We're not doing Tory.
No, we're playing Torrey Pines. You told me you booked the South Course. Are you joking me? What the fuck is this? I'm not even joking right now. What the fuck are we doing? What are we talking about? Bob Does Sports. You told me we were playing at Torrey Pines for an episode of Bob Does Sports. What the fuck is this? This is a joke, right? This is a joke? You fucking had me wake up at 6 in the morning to play a fucking crater field?
It's not a crater field. It's a good course.
A good fucking... I'm gonna call Torrey Pines. Maybe they have it open. I am not paying a red cent to play this fucking place.
I'll pay for the round.
I don't even want to play now, dude.
Oh, Joseph.
This is an ill mood point, man. This is ridiculous.
Joseph, please, dude.
This is a sick and twisted fucking joke, dude.
Look.
This is a fucking catastrophe. An absolute catastrophe.
Need a tea?
The guy is just... He's too funny, man. I can't even get through this without laughing just thinking of him. So that's why I have him #4. Super likable guy, super funny guy. So Joey D, #4. All right, #3. This might cause a little bit of disagreement too, solely for the fact that I'm not sure everybody considers him specifically a YouTube golfer. I've got Paul Bissonnette. Now, he's got the Spittin' Chicklets podcast. He's on TNT for hockey. But he also has a Sandbagger on YouTube, which I personally think is one of the best YouTube golf series out there. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you guys to go back and watch them. The hockey aspect to it is just phenomenal. It's always a 2v2 with Whit and Biz versus two NHL players, either former or current, and it gets so chirpy out there, and I think hockey guys are just naturally funny, so it adds a really, really funny aspect to it.
You rented clubs, Biz? They gave me 2 9s though. No, that's a 6.
And Biz in general is just a super nice guy. If you guys haven't seen the video of him sticking up for some waiters and waitresses at his favorite restaurant in Arizona, getting jumped by 6 guys and just handling them, I suggest you watch it. Got a lot of media attention, and nobody had a bad thing to say about him, and that's because he just comes across as a super genuine, super nice dude. I got the chance to meet him once. I was at the Lake Winnipesaukee pond hockey tournament. I was off at the bar grabbing a beer, and I get a call from my brother who I was with there, and I answer the phone, and it's just Biz. It's like, hey bud, I'm smoking a joint with your brother under the dock, come hang out. And so I ended up meeting him, hanging out with him for a little bit, and he was super genuine, super nice, super down to earth. And everything that comes out of that guy's mouth, I don't know if it's a Canadian accent, I don't know if it's the fact that he spent a living just beating people up and he's super nice, but everything that comes out of his mouth is absolutely hysterical. So if you haven't consumed any of his content, any of the Sandbaggers, I highly suggest that you do. All Biz Nasty, Bissonnette, Biz number 3. All right, number 2, I've got Bubby from Good Good. I've always liked Bubby, but I think the Internet Invitational and the way he handled everything really kind of put a spotlight on how good of a guy he was and how likable he actually is. If you follow Good content, you already know this. If you aren't as familiar of it and you just watch the Internet Invitational, I think you probably do agree that he's just a super, super nice and genuine guy. He said that he would turn down any amount of money if it meant that his team advanced, and he did it twice. He stuck to his word, and he followed through with it. I love the fact that he called out his boy Melosi on the rangefinder situation, and he kind of wouldn't let it go because he said he needed to be honest about it, and he really did feel like he had the slope on. Not even going to go into that on this one. I have a little bit on it in my last video, but there's so many videos coming out about that situation, so I'm sure you can find it if you want to dig deep into it. But just the way that Bubby handled that whole thing, I thought was super impressive and awesome. Bubby number 2. And number 1, I've got Bobby Burger. I think Bob is the funniest guy on YouTube golf, and I think he's the guy that everybody loves and everybody wants to play with. I think it's super impressive what he's done with his channel. The guy does not stop working. He's got 2 podcasts in addition to all the videos he films, and that's nothing compared to how many balls he hits trying to get better. I would love to play with the kid. I would love to hang out with the kid. He's a riot, man. He is just too funny. Everything about his mannerisms. He's got the Bob Does Sports facility opening up soon with the Jumbotron and everything. Probably a poor financial decision, but who's to say? If you guys haven't listened to his Brilliantly Dumb podcast, so he has 2. He's got the Bob Does Sports podcast and the Brilliantly Dumb podcast. The Brilliantly Dumb one is just him, Joey, and their buddy Mikey V. It's so funny, man. It's one of the funniest podcasts I think is out there right now. They've got a segment called Ask Bob, where they just ask him very basic, common knowledge questions, and he's operating at like a 30% clip right now. One of the funnier ones I thought was they asked him, what animal goes through metamorphosis? I believe that was a question. I think he ended up getting to caterpillar, but they asked him what a caterpillar turns into, and his response was centipede. I just thought that was absolutely hysterical. He thought that Al Gore was on the Mount Rushmore, but he has that self-deprecating humor, which I find to be so funny. I love people that are self-deprecating, have the ability to laugh at themselves, and Bob is like number 1 for that. But he's a brilliant business mind. What he's done with his channel, what he's done to grow it, I think he's the glue of YouTube golf. He's a co-creator of the Internet Invitational, the biggest YouTube golf series of all time. But yeah, I have Bob as my number 1, and that rounds out the list. I know there are some people that I left off that people are going to be upset about, like the Brad Dalkeys of the world, the Peter Finches. I know there's a bunch of them, man. But I've got some other videos coming out where I think they'll get some highlights, and I really did want to take a chance to highlight the characters that aren't necessarily sticks, you know. I wanted to give some shouts to the 13 handicaps, the 18 handicaps, the Trents. because those guys add immense value. You know, it's not just the golf game. You don't have to be an absolute stick to be successful on YouTube Golf. Like I said before, you know, the PGA Tour exists, and it's actually a pretty good product. I know, like I said, it's antiquated, but if you want to see the sticks, that's where you can see them. So I appreciate everyone watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, this channel was created for beach reviews. I live in Massachusetts. I'm in the process of reviewing every beach in Massachusetts and surrounding areas. However, YouTube Golf is I think the most entertaining and most quickly rising product on the internet right now, and I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to put a couple videos out and a few more, actually. I'm going to start reviewing some of the videos that drop on a daily basis. So if you want to see those, if you're interested in it, subscribe. If you disagree with anything that I'm saying, or if you agree, drop a comment and let's have a conversation. I try to respond to every comment that I get. It's totally open to other people's opinions and having them change mine. Thanks, guys.